Hello Aquarius, welcome to your reading for the 28th of February until the 8th of March 2026, and it's going to be general, so please if something doesn't resonate, just leave it. Yeah, let's welcome the archangels, ascended masters, light beings, spirit guides, our higher selves, and any animal, ancestral or dragon guides that may be assisting you at the moment. Aquarius, let's see what's going to jump out. Well, I did have the Queen of Cups then, but it's like I was in mid-sentence. I wasn't quite ready. Let's see if the Justice and the Queen of Swords. Okay. Underneath, you have the Ten of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. Let's just place these cards out and sort of chat a little bit as we go, but we'll look at more in depth when I've finished putting them cards out. So, okay, let's grab those two. You have the Strength card and the Six of Wands, and something that's happened recently, which is fantastic. You've also got the Five and Six of Cups. Okay. Yeah, so at the moment, Aquarius, it's looking like you've made a decision that about something, a situation or a job or whatever, that has, I guess that, this, it could be talking about legal proceedings, or this is the Justice card, or maybe some information or some documents, maybe you're signing some documents. You've made a decision perhaps to sign something or to not sign something, okay? And yeah, or maybe you're in the process of deciding what you are going to do. Underneath, you have the Ten of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. So this is sort of like your higher self saying that, it's in your best interest to kind of take things one step at a time, to perhaps not rush into something, to look at the steps and the plans and, steps and I guess the goals and the increments of everything that's sort of involved. Because it's looking like this decision or this thing that you are thinking about, your emotional fulfillment is sort of in the balance there somewhere. Like it's sort of to do with that. Yeah. I mean, I get the feeling that I've sort of got from this is that maybe you're contemplating retirement or something like that. Okay. And maybe you're, this could be a decision about finances, about work, about lifestyle, living situation. I'm getting the feeling that that's kind of there's a major decision there that you're doing, that you're working through, but you're kind of tapping into your heart space to help you to make that decision. Okay, with the Queen of Swords, you have some feminine, some heart in that as well. Although sometimes the Queen is about using your intelligence and your analytical ability. Okay, so maybe you're really having to look at something really thoroughly at the moment. And just recently, here, Aquarius, you've really tapped into your inner strength. Maybe there's something that you've overcome or something that you've moved through and you've kind of come out the other side. This is the Success card, the balance and the harmony that you've reached. With regard to, these are both fire energies, so with regard to your inspiration, your passion, there's something that you're feeling pretty confident about and very happy about at the moment, something about in your life that's going on, which may or may not be connected to this decision that you're making, although it could be. In the future here, the Five of Cups and the Six of Cups. The Five of Cups is about that choice point of, if there's something that you're letting go of, or, if it is the job role or something like that. It's that idea of, there's that, and then there's something else also that's in the wings that's ready to kind of come in and support you, or maybe it's a new journey, a new job, or a new way of life, a new way of being. And the 5 usually talks about that point of change, like that transition phase, you know. 6 of Cups is really nice here for you, Aquarius, because I think what it's saying is that that thing that's ready in the wings is perhaps your inner child energy, and maybe you're going to be joining more with that. This could be something that you're hoping to do. So the inner child energy is usually, you know, characterized by, you know, by feelings of joy, happiness, fulfillment, but also a real soul alignment, like doing something or an activity or a task or a project that's really in alignment with your soul. So it sort of has this feeling of every time you do it, you lose track of time, or you, because it's so engaging, so fascinating, so enjoyable, okay, it's that thing where you get kind of lost in flow. That can be when the inner child is sort of being nurtured as well, sort of that kind of thing coming on board. And that does tie in with this, you know, I think you've been really disciplined here, and I think this is sort of paying off. There's some discipline phase that's paying off, and this could be the decision. Maybe there's a financial decision that you're making, but you're hoping to move into, I think, this flow. And possible outcome, wow, we have the Ace of Cups and the Queen of Swords again. So isn't that interesting? I think there's a decision or something about a contract, finances, job, or whatever that you're making at the moment. And down the track, there will be other decisions that you'll need to make. Queen of Swords again, you know, possible outcome. But there'll be decisions that are around or have to do with your Ace of Cups, your source of inspiration, spirituality, creativity, intuition. And I feel that the Queen of Swords, you are holding your sword of personal truth there. So the possible outcome is that, you know, if you're staying true to that inner child and really moving into that flow state, then, you know, it's going to be really overflowingly abundant for you. Ace of Cups is a beautiful unconditional love energy. And I think it's almost like you're going to be in that situation, this Ace of Cups, and you're going to feel like, well, I'm really glad I made that decision earlier on. Okay, this was at the beginning here of this reading, Queen of Swords, and here you have the other Queen of Swords. Okay, so yeah, there's something about that decision, I think, that's going to impact your well-being moving forward. Once again, use your own discernment with all of these readings, okay, because listen to your own intuition, okay, first and foremost, ahead of mine. If mine's sort of supporting what you're kind of moving towards anyway, then that's cool, but I don't want to, you know, if you're making a decision in a different way and my reading's sort of pushing that, challenging that a little bit too much, then, you know, just pull back and listen to your own intuition, okay? In possible challenge, this is the Empress, Abundance. These cards are in the position of your challenge, and the Knight of Cups. So Aquarius, even though it's looking like, you know, you are moving towards your inner child, at times you may feel, I guess you may be questioning whether the abundance is going to happen or whether this is the right thing for you. This is the you sort of bringing love to yourself, or maybe this is someone else offering their assistance, their love, compassion, and care. And maybe there's, for whatever reason, you know, that may be a challenge. Maybe there's something about that that you are not happy with, that you don't want to accept that help or that offer, which, you know, sometimes we need to not accept things. But if this is about, you know, your abundance, we're going to get some spirit guidance on that now. And usually in the area of challenge, it can be talking about blocks to those experiences. But definitely the area of challenge that is in potential for you, Aquarius. Okay, potentially you have all that abundance. And wow, we also have a repeat of the Strength card here. I really love this card. It's a bit like Stevie Nicks. With a lion there. And let's grab one off the top and one off the bottom as well. 3 of Fire, 3 of Wands, and the 4. Wow, yeah. So let's talk about the Strength card first, because we did have that repeated. This is something that you've tapped into recently, Strength, okay? And, you know, the lion frequency is coming through very strong. So maybe the lion beings of Sirius are helping you at the moment. Lions could also be an animal spirit guide that are helping you move forward, Aquarius, okay? Strength, Spirit's saying here for you to, I guess, keep applying whatever, you know, whatever you've overcome or whatever discipline you're applying to yourself that's led to success. Is Spirit saying keep going with that, okay? Keep going with it, because it's going to help with this abundance here, okay? It's going to help with cultivating and creating that abundance in your life that you're looking for. The 3 of Fire, you know, Spirit's also saying here that you've done a lot. You have a lot of skills, talents, abilities, and gifts, okay, Aquarius. And sometimes you just need to kind of pause to really acknowledge that and to, I guess, consider the bigger picture as well. Like, look where how far you've come and look at the big picture. And just realize that you are kind of moving into a new phase, and it's going to be characterized by, probably you're going to feel like you're in a stronger position than previously. So you're going to be feeling stronger, okay? Strength. Stronger emotionally, mentally, physically, probably in a lot of ways, okay? Strength twice in your reading. And which is going to be great. And not only that, but you're going to have this fall energy, which is not actually silliness, although it can be like lightning and having some fun, but it's also talking about your source connection, your inner child energy, very present, okay, which is what you're hoping for here. So this is really beautiful confirmation from Spirit, Aquarius, sort of saying that, yeah, to really honor the inner child is important for spiritual life, for that feeling of abundance, for feelings of, you know, even love. If this is self-love, okay, doing that inner child work is really helpful for that. Okay, it helps you to acknowledge all of your soul, because sometimes, you know, when we have experiences as children, and obviously for survival reasons, maybe we've had to repress our abilities or our talents, okay? But also when we do that, we repress a lot of the magical stuff in our soul and our beautiful gifts, okay? So Spirit's saying, you know, that's okay to really acknowledge those gifts now. And because you're right on track here, there's a decision that you're making that's kind of perhaps going to influence your movement in that direction. And that's up to you to sort of discern, if that makes sense. But this is, you know, what you're hoping for is this beautiful inner child activation. Now, yeah, let's look at the bottoms of the decks. Interesting thing is that this Empress here is actually pregnant. And I was just going to say something about children too. So if you are looking to retire and perhaps start a family, okay, that could also be what this reading is about. Because Spirit's also saying that it's like you've done the work, you have the strength to do this, and that this could be, you know, the little one that's coming through. Okay, that might be specific for someone. But yeah, I have a son, and I do know that sometimes, well, it can be quite a spiritual thing to, obviously it's a spiritual thing to bring another, you know, another life into the world, okay? So Yeah, just putting that in there in case that's relevant for someone. Yeah, and oh, sorry, we're supposed to be looking at the bottoms of the decks here. Okay, but we have the Hermit popped out, so let's go with that. Yeah. So here we have Aquarius. Spirit saying, you know, maybe it is time to, maybe this is about work. Maybe you're closing that down, or slowing it down, reducing it, taking some time out. Okay. And here we have the Two of Pentacles. Yep, so juggling, being flexible, adaptable, and yeah, creating that balance. Okay. And I feel that whatever this decision is that you're making, because you've got your Ten of Cups here, that usually the Ten of Cups is about balance, because it's like, you know, everything's kind of hunky-dory, like everything's, you know, pretty happy for the most part, right? So we're kind of generally, we're in a state of balance there. And here we have the Seven of Wands. So yeah, I think maybe with this decision, Aquarius, maybe you've had to dig your heels in a little bit, and maybe it has been a tough choice or a tough decision, but it's like you've made the strong, you know, you've been strong and you've made the decision, and I think you're glad that, you know, maybe you're glad that you did. Okay, maybe you have already made the decision, I'm not really sure, but here you are creating those boundaries, and so that you're in a better position, a stronger position to do what's right for you, to be aligned with your personal truth here, okay, your Queen of Swords, to move into the abundance and to, you know, I guess, accept love and caring coming from outside of you, but also from within you, okay, so you can activate your inner child and move forward into the next phase of your life. Let's have a look. Three of Earth, Three of Pentacles, another three. So this is a very creative phase for you, I think. Threes are, you know, pretty creative. Three of Pentacles, yeah. You might be co-creating, you know, I mean, maybe you are starting a new family, or maybe you're starting a group. Maybe it's like a, you know, maybe like a support group or that type of thing. Or a club or something like that, okay? Or, yeah, like I said, there's a transition point that you're going through, and there's decisions that you're making with regard to that, okay? Yeah, so hopefully that's been helpful, Aquarius. And, yeah, like I said, if any other meanings have come up for you with the images on these cards, and it may be that certain images really jump out to you and speak to you, okay? There's Two of Pentacles here, juggling. Is pretty cool. What else have we got? Let's just grab some. I mean, this one here of, you know, the chat with the dog, the child, like this is like a really nice playful energy. It might be your inner child, or maybe it's something to do with your child or the child that you are thinking of bringing into your life. Yeah, and we also have the Strength, you know. Yeah, this hybrid being here is very interesting. You might also be feeling into, it's just an extra side point, you might also be feeling into your galactic origins, okay? Maybe you're feeling like you're sort of part of two different worlds, like maybe your sensitivities are increasing, so maybe you're kind of stepping into that more. Yeah, you know, there could be lots of different things that you're contemplating, Aquarius, but I think we might wrap it up there. And yeah, hopefully that's been helpful. Look forward to our next reading. In the meantime, have a great day, fantastic week, and see you again soon. Bye for now.